Snow drifted softly across Maple Ridge, coating the quiet streets in a blanket of white. Most homes were glowing with warm lights, filled with laughter and Christmas music. But David Rourke walked alone. The ex-Navy SEAL who had spent half his life in war zones didn't mind the cold. He'd felt colder things, loss, silence, and the weight of memories that never faded. Holidays rarely meant joy for him anymore. They were simply reminders of the men he'd lost, the family he never built, and the homecomings that were always temporary. But tonight, something tugged at him, an instinct he had learned never to ignore. As he crossed the nearly empty parking lot of a closed supermarket, he noticed a single van parked far away from the lights. Its windows were frosted from the inside. No engine running, no heat, just stillness. Something inside him sharpened. He approached slowly and carefully, and when he peered into the window, his breath hitched. A woman sat in the driver's seat, hugging her coat like armor. Two children, one maybe 6, the other around 9, curled together in the back, wrapped in thin blankets that didn't look warm enough for autumn, let alone Christmas Eve. The woman flinched when she saw David, fear flickering in her tired eyes. He lifted his hands gently. "Ma'am," he said softly, "I'm not here to bother you. I just want to know you're okay." Her voice trembled. "We're fine." But her cracked lips, the children's shivering bodies, and the silent, dark van told the truth. David noticed the expired registration sticker, the bald tires, the small pile of belongings stuffed into a grocery bag. He crouched slightly so she didn't feel threatened. "Your engine's off," he said quietly. "No heat. You've been out here a while." She swallowed hard. "We don't have anywhere else to go." Then she added, barely above a whisper, "My name is Emily. These are my kids, Lily and Aaron." David nodded gently. "I'm David." The kids stared at him, curious, frightened, and exhausted. He softened his voice even more. "Are you staying out here for the night?" Emily hesitated, her pride fighting with the truth. Then her shoulders fell. "Their father died in September," she said, her voice breaking. "Construction accident. We lost the house last month. I've been trying, but everything keeps slipping away." David felt something tighten in his chest. He'd seen hardship around the world, but nothing struck him harder than seeing children suffer. "What about a shelter?" he asked softly. "They're full," she said. "I checked everywhere. I told the kids that Santa can find them, even in a parking lot." The little girl clutched a worn stuffed rabbit, the fabric thin from years of love. Something inside David cracked open. He took a slow breath. "Emily," he said, "you and the kids can't stay out here tonight." She straightened a bit, trying to be strong. "We don't accept charity." David shook his head gently. "Good. Because that's not what I'm offering." He extended his hand, not forceful, not demanding, just open. "I'm offering safety, warmth, a place where your kids can have the Christmas they deserve." She stared at his hand like she wasn't sure hope was allowed anymore. She looked at her kids, at the dark windows, at the cold air seeping in through every crack. Then she took a shaky breath and nodded. David helped them gather their things. He opened the truck door, letting warm air wash over them. The children sighed with relief as they felt heat for the first time in hours. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She tried to blink away. "Where are we going?" Aaron asked quietly. David smiled gently. "Somewhere safe." He drove them through the snow-covered streets to his home, a modest cabin on the edge of town where he'd been living alone since leaving the military. A decorated Christmas tree glowed softly in the window. He almost apologized for it, suddenly self-conscious, but the kids gasped in amazed delight. "You have a tree," Lily whispered. "Sure do," David said. "And it turns out I bought way too much food for one guy. Think you all can help me eat it?" For the first time that night, Emily laughed quietly, a soft, tired sound but real. Inside, David lit the fireplace and handed the kids warm cocoa while Emily changed into an extra sweater he offered. She stood near the fire, tears glistening in her eyes. "You didn't have to do this," she whispered. "Yeah," David said gently, "I did." They spent the night cooking simple food, talking slowly, getting to know each other in the fragile, honest way people do when life has stripped them bare. The kids decorated cookies. Emily relaxed little by little, and David, who hadn't felt warmth in years, felt something inside him thaw. Later, when the kids were asleep on the couch under thick blankets, Emily whispered, Thank you for giving my children a Christmas. I thought this would be the year I failed them completely. David looked at her, his voice thick. You didn't fail them, you kept them safe, you kept going, that's strength. She wiped her eyes. I don't know what comes next. He thought for a moment. You don't have to figure it all out tonight. Let tomorrow be tomorrow. Then, after a pause, he added quietly, You're not alone anymore. Emily looked at him with stunned disbelief, like someone who'd lived in darkness suddenly seeing light. Christmas morning arrived slowly, with the soft glow of dawn. David surprised the kids with gifts, small things he'd picked up earlier out of habit, gloves, storybooks, a toy truck. He'd never imagined they'd end up under his tree, but now they felt exactly right. The children squealed. Emily cried. And David felt something he hadn't felt in a very long time, belonging. As they shared breakfast, laughter filled the house, echoing in corners that had forgotten the sound. David realized something profound. Saving people wasn't always about combat or missions. Sometimes it was about opening your door, choosing kindness, offering warmth on the coldest night of the year. And for Emily, that single act of compassion transformed everything. It gave her hope, it gave her strength, it gave her a new beginning. As snow fell outside and the fireplace flickered, Emily looked at him and whispered, You saved us. David shook his head. No, he said softly. You just needed someone to remind you that you still matter. And on that Christmas morning, in a small cabin lit by the glow of love and second chances, they all discovered the same truth. Sometimes the greatest miracles come from ordinary people choosing to care.